Hello everyone, welcome to ICANN Media. I'm your host Rob Hislop. We are coming to you from the Global Petroleum Show in Calgary. One of the things that they're looking at here is how to make sure that you can either stay in the workforce or get back into it in case you've happened to lose your job recently. One of the people that is here speaking is Catherine Brownlee. Catherine, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're with CBI and your talk is networking, successful networking, and how to make a pitch in 30 seconds. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, over the years, when I started in sales, oil and gas sales, in fact, early on, I learned a process that worked really well with tracking every conversation that I had, the full name and correct spelling of someone's name, even any personal information I may recall, and make sure that I fill a database full of as much information as possible. So that over the years, I'm able to not only maintain that network, but build from it and refer business to people that may need it. If they're looking for tips for whatever reason, I'm able to support them in that way, and it builds the relationship over time. And over the years, we've grown a very large database and used it.
You are making me feel like I've done no work to maintain any relationships at all, because a lot of people don't go to that extent.
Absolutely true. And for the ones that really do want to, it's extremely effective.
So successful marketing, so is that you would go home as soon as you meet somebody then? What would you do?
Actually, it's before home. It's as soon as I get back to my car or wherever I have a private moment, as soon as I've met someone or a group of people. Sometimes when we're out networking, it's a large group. It's very important to try and capture as much as possible with whatever we can potentially retain during that time, which is difficult after meeting so many, but as much as possible, just flip over the card, put the information on the back, and then that's what goes into the database.
The 30-second pitch, what is that all about?
There's three pieces to a 30-second pitch, and we suggest 30 seconds. And when we actually wrote a book back in 2007, fortunately it was a bestseller, a lot of the tips that we teach are the modules from that book. And this piece used to be called a 90-second pitch or an elevator pitch. And because things have changed so much, so dramatically, that we really need to move it into sound bites. So even under 30 seconds, as much as possible, capturing three components that are credibility, why would someone want to hear us, what it is that we're most passionate or what our skill set is or expertise may be, and then what it is we plan to apply that to. And that's all inside of 30 seconds.
So, I mean, there are a lot of people in this industry right now that are looking for jobs because they've lost their jobs due to layoffs, etc. They may have just thought that they were going to be in this industry for the rest of their lives. They may not have this skill set. How difficult is it to work at?
To look at other industries or to remain in the industry?
To not necessarily remain in the industry, but to follow your pitches, because maybe these people are introverted or, they may have other issues. They didn't think that they'd ever have to look for work. How do you motivate them or tell them that this is something that they can do?
Well, fortunately, I don't have to motivate them. If they're already coming to my seminar or they're reading the book or they've reached me somehow, they're already motivated. So they're already pre-qualified from that perspective. So they're willing to do the work. The majority of the people that we work with are introverts. The majority of the industry that we love and adore are very much introverts. They're engineers, accountants, people that are very much that side of the brain where they're constantly having to reach into that analytical linear piece. So for them, it really is stepping outside the box and doing this for themselves, but they see the value in it, and we practice before they leave. They nail that 30-second pitch before they leave our seminar.
How important is it? Because when you're looking for a job these days, as I mentioned to another person we interviewed, a lot of people just go to the internet, they fire off resumes and stuff like that, but then you never separate yourself from the rest of the people applying for it. So how important is it that this 30-second pitch make a connection?
30-second pitch can be used in a way when we first meet someone, whether we're at a Safeway lineup on Elbow Drive, or it can actually be part of what we're using in our documents, or the objective, or the first 4 inches of that resume is the sweet spot of the resume. We must capture whoever's reading that information as fast as possible. So that's where that 30-second pitch would go. To be able to differentiate yourself from the rest of the candidates, you certainly apply online wherever there's applications to be applied to. That's only 10% of what we should be doing. 90% should be networking and being out, like in places like this, meeting as many people as possible, and then following the process that we teach with effective networking, how to capture that information, how to utilize it, how to maintain it, and then how to leverage it.
So you say you work for CBI. What does CBI stand for, and how can people get in touch with you?
CBI is really a project management company, so we're hired typically for introduction facilitation, headhunting, recruiting services, and really basic introductions. So my passion is really connecting people around the globe that their expertise may be whatever in Israel is interested in something in Alberta, and I make those introductions. That's from a philanthropic perspective usually, but then we also get paid from a headhunting perspective as well.
So is it the type of thing that if people want, like people who are losing their jobs in the industry now or just thinking about looking for something else, they can reach out and contact you?
Yes, absolutely. Through our website, KatherineBrownlee.com, and through the candidate side, or there's also a direct link for me as well.
Catherine, thank you very much.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you.
We've been chatting with Catherine Brownlee here on ICANN Media.